So, hi everyone. Today we're going to expose Singapore harmony in complexity across framework cultural analysis from Colombian perspective. Our names are Mateo Arango and Dayana Duarte. Okay, so first of all, the purpose of these expositions is that um, we have the purpose to explore the Singapore society through three complementary lenses that are the Martin Gannon Hawker Center, the Eremeyer's Culture Map, and also the Globe Project Dimensions. This is to uncover how these frameworks can illuminate the cultural values and behaviors. Also, is to contrasting these insights with the Colombian culture partners and traditions. And also, we will highlight all the practical strategies to enhance the teamwork and collaboration in international settings. The frameworks that we are going to talk today are gonna be three. The first one is, as I say, the Gannon Singapore Hawker Centers. The second one is Early Mayer's Culture Map, and the last one's gonna be the Globe Project that we're going to cover later. Okay, so let's move on with the Gannon metaphor hawker centers. So what the hawker centers represent are three things: are the multicultural integration, the state managed efficiency, and last one, the tradition that meets innovation. As you can see in the video, that is a hawker center in Singapore. So in multicultural integrations are going to be the dozens of styles, like for example the Chinese, the Malay, the Indian people uh, that operates side by side under one roof, and that reflects the Singapore's ethnic mosaic. Then we have the state managed efficiency. Um, this was launched in 1970s to replace the informal street hawkers. These centers principally are highly regulated for sanitation, pricing, and also to stale allocation. Last one, we have the tradition that meets innovation. So while the preserving heritage dishes like the Hanasens, chicken rice, the Hawkins continually introduce fusion creations, like for example mirroring Singapore blend of heritage and modernity. An important underlying cultural values that we highlight are three that are the multiculturalism and unity, that are the that citizens of all the backgrounds dine together equally in this place. Also, the programmism and structure. This is that centralized planning solve quality and urban space can like solve issues by reallocating vendors into hygienic purpose halls. And last one is the government integration um, and intervention that are that ongoing state oversight, like for example the pricing and the hygiene can ensure consistent quality and affordability. Okay, so then we continue with Erin Meyer's the culture map that basically is a eight-scale model that explains all the culture differ in communication, feedback, decision making, trust, disagreement, time, persuasion, and leadership. So um, we're going to explain these scales. You can see in the image how are allocated the Singapore's and Colombians um, culture mapping in the culture mapping tool in each dimension. So, for example, in the leading, the Singapore is in the hierarchical top down. That means that decisions flow from leaders, junior staff differ from openly authority. Colombia it's also in in a hierarchical position. Then we're going to move to the disagreeing, that it's gonna be in Singapore avoids open confrontation, and in Colombia they are like more indirect. This means that they like prefer like private challenges, uh, like to avoid public discussions. And in Singapore, this means that they give like the feedback in a indirectly way. Then we have trusting. In Singapore is relation based, and in Colombia is relationship based. Also, this basically means that they like trust more in the growth through socializing. Like for example, having meals, have a small talk before the meetings. So they prefer that, like instead of like go straight for the um, negotiation meeting or like to perform a task. Um, so the fourth dimension is gonna be the scheduling. In Singapore, it's more linear. This means that the punctuality and strict are more important and is a signal of professionalism. And in Colombia, as you can see and you know, it's more flexible time. This means that Colombia have like more the value of adaptability, meaning the meetings can often start late, 10, 15 minutes late, and there are not going to be like a huge problem. So this also increase the relationship like trend take like precedence.
Global projects. This is a culture dimensions. Now let's look at the three culture dimensions from the global students and compare Singapore and Colombia. The first is power distance. In Singapore, people accept that the power is not equality, leaders have a strong authority, and the employer follow instructions. In Colombia, we also respect authority, but relationships with the manager are often more personal. The second is future orientation. Singapore has highly future orientation. People plan a long term and they care about self-being, education, and technology. Colombia has low future orientation. We focus more on the present and we are flat with the change. And finally, performance orientations. Singapore has a strong focus on the result. People work hard and expect high performance. In Colombia, we also value results, but we care a lot about personal relationship too. So both countries have respect to authority and values performance, but Singapore is more future focused and structure. Now let's compare the three models: canon metaphor, any major culture map, and the global dimensions, which is a similarity. The culture map and the global dimension both shows the Singapore has a clear hierarchy and values performance, which is a difference. The Hacker Center metaphor focus more on the culture harmony and diversity. It shows how different people live and work together with the peace in the Singapore, which is a contradiction. Everton Singapore is hierarchy. The Hacker Center images give a more equality feelings. Everyone's eat together in the same place. It look more informal than the work culture really is. So each model gives a different perspective and together they help you understand the Singapore better. Now I will share some important tips for working with people from Singapore. First, respect the hierarchy. In Singapore, people respect authority and structure. It's very important to speak polite to the manager and about disagreement with them in public. Second, using direct communication. They prefer an indirect communication with the giving feedback in keen and about bit too direct or emotional. The other is be punctual and organized. Time is very important in Singapore. Be on time and prepare well for meeting. They are really values efficiency. And finally, focus on performance. Working hard and doing a good job is very important. If you show the commitment and deliver good results, people will respect you. Okay, conclusion. This presentation shows you the culture of Singapore using three models. First, Hacker Center by Martin Gannon, the culture map by Eddie Meyer, and finally, the global study. With this video, we compared Singapore with Colombia and we say some difference like how people live, community, communication, and manage time, but also found some similarities. When you understand the culture difference, help you work better together in international team. If we learn to adapt, we can build strong and respectful with their relationships. Thanks to watching.